Congratulations, City. Commiserations, Leicester and Leeds. The Premier League season is complete.
Right, Tate.
Evening, Jack. You alright?
Yeah, mate. All good. All
It
good.
feels a while since we've been.
Yeah, it was talking before. It's only been 2 weeks, but yeah, it doesn't. Feels good to be back.
We've had a busy 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you had a
been away a couple of times.
lovely time in Sweden.
Yeah, it was cool.
Spent last week fighting off.
Yeah, you've been
on death's door.
You've been the ill one. That's why I haven't been doing it. But yeah, I think you. I mean, you said you're a bit phlegmy still, but
Yeah.
no, you seem good, and hopefully, yeah, you can get through this hour and a half, whatever it might be.
Yeah, nothing. A week in the sun and
A few beers, sort out.
can't fix. Yeah, but no, all good. So we're glad to be back, and the season's now finished. Well,
Yeah.
the Premier League season, that is.
Mhm.
Final day yesterday while we checked it through on our phones while enjoying the beer festival down at the Orange Tree.
Yeah, we had a few beers, but yeah, sort of everyone was just on their phones checking the scores. We're the most sociable bunch, but no, it was good. When a nice day. I wanted to watch Spurs, but also when you're in the sun, it was no need.
There was no need to go inside.
Nah, in the dark.
Can we put the TV on, please?
No, it was good. Very good.
But no, yeah. Before we get into that, we might as well start with the teaser. And Luton Town got promoted on Saturday, and they've become the 4th town to play in the Premier League. Can you name the other 3?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
So it's a prefix, I think, is the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
That's what town is, like
Right.
United,
Yeah.
City, etc.
I'll give it a go.
Can you name the other 3? Right, so as we mentioned, the games in focus yesterday were really Leeds versus Spurs, Leicester versus West Ham, and Everton versus Bournemouth. Shall we start with Ellen Road? And
Yeah.
that was where the first goal went in.
Yeah, it was Harry Kane, wasn't it? That man.
I mean, weirdly enough, I actually fancied all 3 struggling teams to get the 3 home wins.
Yeah, agreed. I said to myself and a few others, I said the same thing. I thought Leeds, Leicester, Everton would all win, and it'd stay as it is. And Leeds and Leicester went down like they did, but yeah, I can't believe they didn't beat Tottenham at home. I really just thought, well, we've been the way we have been the last 10, 12 games, whatever it is, and yeah, Leeds at home, Big Sam, they must win. They must win,
They
and
had to, didn't they? But
yeah, obviously they continued their horrific form.
they're absolutely embarrassing. I watched the highlights this morning, and just if you
Yeah.
concede after 2 minutes,
Yeah,
and the goal they conceded, it was a nice finish from Kane, but my God, the build up to that play, it was just
yeah, it wasn't like
horrific. The fullback got
yeah.
beat on the side too easily, came inside, and Son has an acre of time to decide where he wants to pass, and then Kane slots it home.
Yeah, and I thought like the atmosphere was okay, and like, everyone goes on about Ellen Road, and I think was it centre half Cock had the header just past the post, and there was a bit of like they were on the edge then, but yeah, I thought they just didn't change. They didn't up their game. They didn't play. They didn't just go around kicking everyone. They didn't play with loads of aggression. It was just poor. They were exactly what they have been all season, and Tottenham won the game. Like, we should beat Leeds away. We should beat Leeds at home. We're more than good enough, and quite simple. I just think that's what happened. Like, on paper, it don't matter how we're playing, who our manager is, or we haven't got one, whatever. But on paper, our players are good enough. We've got Harry Kane, we've got Son, we've got these players, we've got Basuma in the middle, and yes, they've been awful. We're not happy, but they're still better than Leeds' best 11, and that was shown yesterday, I think.
Yeah, like you said, Leeds were just. I thought their Leeds were pathetic. Really.
Yeah,
Really, I
poor.
think they have been since Big Sam's been put in. That whole decision over the last 10 games have just been
horrific,
awful. Ever since they were 1-0 up, literally with 30 seconds to go in the first half against Palace, and then they somehow conceded and then lost 5-1.
I don't think they've won.
Garcia got sacked and just they're falling off an absolute.
I don't think they've won a game in the last 9, and obviously Big Sam's coming for 4, 1 draw and 3 losses. Yeah, and they've had 4 managers this season as a whole, which is obviously that can't be good, no matter what you're doing. Yeah, and nothing's changed, is it? Nothing. Big Sam hasn't come in and revitalised the side and given loads of energy. The change of is it Garcia or Garcia? He was just awful. The players like we said. I mean, you've probably seen it on our socials and our predictions, and if you remember from the first one, we said Leeds would go. Not, oh look at us, we know right, but Leeds were the banker, the one that couldn't lose sort of thing. So yeah.
Well, Leeds' problems have started since last season as well, when obviously they sacked Bielsa. I think they needed to either go a completely different direction and get someone in who's going to play a rigid 4-4-2 formation or change the style, but they went for Marsh, who's sort of like a Bielsa light, who gets players fit and runs around, and they're all a bit.
They got loads of energy. Look at them all running and pressing, but really, you've seen their results, and they sacked him. Like, great.
He shouldn't have gone into this season being the manager of Leeds. He got him up on the last day of the season, or kept him up, should I say, by the skin of his teeth. It was Rafinha's goal. Sold Rafinha in the summer. Yeah. Replaced him just pure.
That's
dross.
That's what I've got here. That they sold Rafinha, lost Phillips, replaced in quote unquote replaced those players. Spent 140 million in the summer on, like you said, dross, just scattergun approach and basically loads of average players, and then a further 45 million in January. And again, recruitment's just been awful. They've not replaced those two big players, and you're always going to struggle. You lost your two best players you've had for years in the Prem, back in the Prem, and changing the managers and all sorts happening. It's never going to go well, is it?
The majority on that striker in January, wasn't it? Ruta?
Yeah, did he? I don't think did he play or what?
Barely kicked a ball. So I don't know what's happened there. Bamford for me should be sacked. His performance against West Ham. So last week was a perfect. They went 1-0 up away at West Ham, and if they'd won that, they would have stayed up.
Yeah.
But he got injured. I think. Oh, he's injured again. Like the way he just limps off literally as West Ham scored. He then got injured and then walked off the pitch and was just.
And even Rodrigo,
just
getting injured and not being there. And they're not good. They're not great players. They're not, like we said before, they're not going to score you loads of goals, but. For some reason they're their main men, and they've not been there at all. But Bamford just not a Premier League reliable Premier League striker. He's probably a very good player in a champ, and a squad player in the Prem for like a lower half, fighting relegation. But I'll say it later on, I think, but I just think the league table this season more than ever is just you are where you should be. Like Tottenham have finished 8th, that's where we should be. We were in a false position, hanging on to 4th. Leeds 19th, that's where they should be. Leicester 18th, that's where they should. And it's easy to say that because that's the points and that's the games they played. But you just can't. I don't think you can argue with it.
Well, it's that saying, isn't it? League table doesn't lie. And I do think after 38 games, it does pretty much even out.
Yeah, it does.
You might have the odd differential here and there, but 99 times out of 100, it is
100%. Yeah,
that it's the league parameter, and that's what you're judged by the end of the season, and that is normally what is the case.
Yeah, definitely.
But with Leeds, we've mentioned it previously on previous podcasts that they're full of championship poor players. Like, look at that back four. The last goal for me sums it up. You have Cooper try and wipe out Mora, who Lucas Moura has not had a good season.
Again, he's not played. He's not.
He's Cooper's just trying to leave one on him, and he's just skipped round, and then Ayling's just chasing him. But Ayling's one of them blokes who tries really hard, but really, are you still starting week in, week out?
Yeah.
Premier League, right? But any decent winger worth their stuff just would absolutely skin him like they do. You saw Kane like that. Even the third goal for Kane, he was just so much space.
Yeah. What was the Porro's the second goal? And even Kane there, I know it was brilliant play from Kane, but he had time to flick the ball up, flick it over, shrug someone off, and then play the ball wide. He is a brilliant player, but just Leeds. There was no. If there were ever a moment to actually go out and perform and fight, that was that game. And like you said earlier, they were just rubbish, weren't they? Awful.
Yeah, the goals that you scored were from a defensive point of view. And you think a defensive point of view, that is what Big Sam should be good at and building his team around. But even his first thing he did when he came in was drop Meslier and put in Joel Roberts in the league. But he hasn't played for about 6 years in the Premier League.
And he's like a second, third choice at best.
Yeah, always has been, Yeah,
and again, not played, and suddenly, but then that shows you the level of Meslier is just nothing, nowhere near it. So I think their squad as a whole, like you said, they're not made for the Prem, are they?
No, they need to do a bit like Burnley did, I think, in the summer. Go are they going to continue playing this chaotic football? Or are they going to get a manager who's got a style and go for it in a different sort of way, shall I say?
And that's what about the manager situation. They brought Big Sam in, which is a myth of Big Sam will keep you up, and what a load of rubbish that is. But they brought him for 4 games, so now what do? Are they going to keep Big Sam? Do they get someone else? Like what? I mean, I know what I would do, but I wouldn't have got Big Sam in the first place. But yeah, what do the fans want? What a mess that is.
Well, all 3 clubs down there, obviously, Everton survives, but I think there's got to be a conversation with all 3 of them about who's going to take over.
Yeah.
And is it a job that some managers, because Leeds are a reasonably sized club, they'll probably be the biggest club in the Championship. Are certain managers going to want to take the hit of going into the Championship, but
to get them up again,
having a bigger club? Put a name out there, someone like Brendan Rodgers. Is he too big for that job? Graham Potter, is he too big for that job? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the sort of decision. But then this is the most important time now for Leeds, is to make the correct call. Because if they don't, they could spend another 16 years in the Championship.
Yeah, and I think one of those, like Southampton, Leeds or Leicester, they could absolutely spiral like a Bolton, whoever, Portsmouth. They could drop and drop and drop. And yeah, there's some teams like Chelsea, Tottenham, organise and run terribly at the moment. But those 3 relegated sides, they're in a world of bother. And yeah, like you said, if Leeds need to, like all of them do, a big summer of making the correct decisions and big decisions, but ones that need to be made, and say, right, this is how we're going. They might spend 5-6 seasons in the Championship, but at least they're solid in that league and not dropping any further. But yeah, it's it's that Big Sam thing. I just don't know. Why they did it, but it is. Yeah, massively.
It's not 2005 anymore, where he's like an established manager. He was a bit of a joke, and that was the joke of it was that he was coming in, he couldn't get Sammy Lee, and it was just a bit of a, here come the old boys again.
Yeah, it was massively.
They panicked, pressed the button, and they pressed it far too late. I said maybe give it to Garcia, but then he never seen the right person for the job anyway, because he was just uninspiring. The results weren't really turning. When they got rid of Marsh, that's when they needed to then go, right,
this next person is going to be in charge for a season, 2 seasons. This person will be the man, and they just got it horribly wrong. And
we've seen it with Leicester as well. These caretaker managers just hasn't worked.
No.
So Big Sam, 4 games, 1 draw, 3 losses. Dean Smith, I think it was 8. I've got it here. 8 games, 2 wins. 1 was yesterday. 3 draws and 3 losses.
Yeah.
It just.
And again, that myth, like when we said it, but when he came in, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Dean Smith, like good manager, will keep up." Like what basis is that? Is that true, or has anyone even come about? It's just people are just so oblivious and like to this situation where they go, right, a Sam Allardyce comes in, and Dean Smith comes in, and they're the man you need, like, and yeah, Dean Smith's just shown like they were doomed from the get go. Like it don't matter who would have come in, they were doomed. But
Dean Smith lost his last job at Norwich getting sacked, and he goes and lands the Leicester job.
Yeah.
There's some stat going around about Allardyce has won 1 game in like 25. I know his last job was at West Brom, and they were horrific in 2020. I think that season was 2000. It was a lockdown season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
2020,
it was
2021. It was the last time he had a job. But it's interesting. So I've got the point swing from last season to this season.
I've seen this little image. Yeah, go on.
With certain teams, only 6 teams have improved on their total of last year. Leicester minus 18 points, Leeds minus 7, and Southampton minus 15. Everton 3 worse off this year.
Really?
Yeah.
They're just not. Yeah. But then again, there's always that classic cliche, but there's always 3 worse teams, and this season's shown it.
Because Everton last year, I think they survived on game week 37. I think it was the one just before the last game of the season, because then they came to the Emirates and just were on holiday. Lost 5-1, I think it was. But you can see that was they literally were 1 game worse off Everton. Southampton minus 15 points is a shocker, but then they've, like we said, they've gone early. They've decided they don't want is it Ruben Sellers?
Ruben Sellers,
and they've gone for Russell Martin, haven't they? Yeah.
Which I mean, I don't follow the Championship or really the Football League, but I don't know. I thought Ruben Sellers was going to be in charge. Like he's a young manager. He's been within the club and the youth system. They've got a massively young team and squad. Maybe I thought, he'll take them in Championship and sort of keep them in there. But yeah, they've jumped ship, haven't they? Gone. Russell Martin's a young manager and a bit of experience within the Championship. So who knows? But
yeah, I think they needed something new, something refreshing, and let's try it. But Leicester minus 18 points worse off. That's six wins, which is shambolic in it, really.
It's terrible.
And what do they do next season? A lot of their players are out of contract. I think I've got them here. I think there was 7 players, including Yuri Tillemans, who they signed for 35 mil, going to go for free.
Yeah.
Tate, Daniel Amati, who's been there since, I think he won the title there as well. Soyuncu, they signed him for like 20 odd mil.
He's going to Atletico, yeah. I heard that the other day.
Mendy, Johnny Evans, Ryan Bertrand, and Ozzy Perez, who's currently out on loan. But they've just, for a club that was always praised for being well run and look at little plucky Leicester, this is how big clubs should be run, and things like from winning the Premier League and the FA Cup. The last 12 months have been shambolic. Yeah, and
they were a bit of like a curveball, weren't they, to be down there? And I've got here, but 9 seasons in the Prem, like you said, won the league, won the FA Cup, I think 3 European appearances, Champions League and Europa League and maybe Conference League. But yeah, they were, what's it said here? In the last 5 seasons, they've been finishing in the top half, narrowly missing out on Champions League football twice. But yeah, this season, like we were saying, always go on about, but recruitment, I've said it before about Leicester, but it's just gone horribly wrong for a minute. They got rid of big players, experienced players, and brought in a centre-back that has no experience in the Prem and is just absolute head loss. So, and yeah, it's backfired. And then like those big players, Maddison, Barnes, Tielemans, I'm sure they were gutted. They're relegated, but they know they'll just move on to probably a very good Premier League side, and they won't be worried about Leicester anymore.
Looking back,
no, exactly.
Well, I've got a note here. There's no benefit for anyone if by the first day of pre-season, if Maddison and Barnes are still there, they need to go, because they're not going to be there by the end. They're not going to play in the Championship, so they need to be gone. They need to somehow get that business done early, get them out the door, and then they can refresh the squad and go from there. Like you said, they lost the experienced players like Kasper Schmeichel in the summer, didn't bother replacing, didn't want to, or whatever the situation was there. They got Danny Warden, who we had joked about. He was our loser of the week for like 3 weeks on the trot.
He's awful.
Just howler after howler, considered the most goals ever in the first 6 games or something like that. And it's experienced people who run a football club just making these horrific decisions that come down to it. People will lose their jobs after these positions. Like you always hear the stories of the tea lady loses their job, all because someone in a suit at the top level has thought they can save a bit here, and then it always comes back to bite them like that. I mean, I don't really know what they do. Do they continue with Dean Smith? Dean Smith got Aston Villa promoted in the Championship. They can't. Surely they can't.
Well, that's again though. It's sort of the same similar conversation with all these sort of sides. But like a few weeks ago, they all got these managers in. But so was it a short fix? And if they kept them up, so if Leeds stayed up, for example, would they keep Allardyce? Leicester, if they stayed up, would they have kept Dean Smith? But now they're in that situation. I think even Dean Smith said in his interview, like, basically just palm that question off and we'll think about it when it comes to it. At the moment, we're obviously upset about relegation, blah, blah. Does Dean Smith now think he's all of a sudden above the Championship? It's such a mess. It's such a, like you said, they were such rash decisions in the first place. And now, they're probably on big contracts, big money, sort of weird bonuses if they'd have done this, if they'd done that. So, I don't. Leicester, do you want Dean Smith really?
See, I think if whatever happened, if they both stayed up or whatever, Allardyce would definitely not be there in job.
No.
But I think Dean Smith would have got the job. I think they would have given it to him. Cheap. He would have done the quote unquote good job if he had kept him up. That's what he was brought in for. To have 2 wins. Did you watch their 0-0 draw against Newcastle in the week?
I didn't know. I just didn't bother because for that exact reason. It was 0-0 and it was boring.
I mean, don't get me wrong, a point away at Newcastle, but they didn't have a shot on goal until the
They played like
94th
5 at the
minute.
back, didn't they, or something?
Madison came on at half time. I think Barnes came on in like the 70th minute. They obviously went there for a draw, but knowing a draw was never going to be enough to keep up. If they'd won that game, they'd be in the Premier League still.
And that's another thing as well. Like the sides come out, the managers and teams, and even the fans. And like for example, at the weekend, Leicester won at home, and they're saying, "Oh, we done all we can. We won on the last day." But there was 37 games before that you've been absolutely dreadful in. So yeah, I think that's a terrible argument, reasoning behind it all. But yeah, it's like you said though, and Dean Smith come in and didn't fight for it, did they? They, like you said, gone to Newcastle. They need to win. They actually need to win the game here to stay in the Premier League. And they played 5 at the back and basically didn't want to concede. So,
and there's a theme with these two clubs. Leeds have conceded 78 goals. It's just, how can ridiculous. You even think about trying to stay because of that many goals? Leicester conceding 68 goals. They're just not scoring enough either.
And Southampton 73 goals in that as well.
Awful.
Terrible.
But Leeds, you mentioned earlier about clauses and contracts and whatnot. I've seen a few Leeds players it's come out that they've got relegation clauses, whether that means they can go for cheap or there's a buyout clause in there. Leicester, I think, are going to have a big rebuild. Where did Maddison go? Take him at Spurs?
I don't know at Tottenham, but yeah, I think he'll go to obviously lots of links to Newcastle. Same with I actually quite like Harvey Barnes. I think he's a very good player. But again, probably won't come to Tottenham. Tielemans probably go somewhere. He was sort of linked heavily to Arsenal, wasn't he? But I don't think after this season he
can't run. Yeah,
I don't think the top 4 sides will be interested. But yeah, either way, whatever. If you take them out of their side and they join whoever they join, yeah, they're in a massive rebuild. And like you said, does a manager want to go in there and do that?
See, it seems weird with Leicester because over the last 10 years they have been a Premier League club, and we all think of them as a Premier League club. But historically, they have been a bit of a yo-yo team, up and down. So from 2004 to 2012, I think they were they went down to League One, didn't they? I think at some stage.
Well, I've got the 12th. This is their 12th relegation, which is the most out of any side.
Yeah, that's mad.
So yeah, and Alan Smith, the man I despise on commentary, actually said that I think he played for them in his career, and he said. He was doing an interview or whatever, he said since 1984 Leicester have always been a yo-yo club. They're always up and down, but like you said, the recent times and sort of our age and in and around our age, the last 9 years they've been in the Prem, so you don't associate them with that sort of side. But yeah, maybe their fans are used to it, or maybe older generations see it more. But yeah, they're only the second side to win the league and go down like Blackburn did. So
I suppose you would take. Would you take the last 10 years of Premier League and FA Cup and a relegation?
Oh, I don't know if I could stomach the relegation.
No, but if you're Leicester...
Maybe if you're Leicester, it's probably very different, yeah.
You take a league title off of relegation.
If you're a genuine Leicester and... I think a lot more people would say yes than no, I think.
And the Community Shield as well.
Yeah, that is true.
We've won that enough times. We might actually play in that this season. If City win the FA Cup, then...
Just do City A versus City B.
Then we play in it. Arsenal got a good record of that. I got confused about the older. Leicester are.
I'm glad. I'm glad Leeds and Leicester got down absolutely buzzing. I know you. We'll move on to the blue side of Merseyside, but I'm absolutely buzzing. Leeds and Leicester are gone.
Leeds, yes. I didn't really care, but I wanted Everton to go down because my hot take, or even it's a hot take, I think Dyche has done quite a poor job.
Dyche.
I know he's kept him up, and that's what he's there for.
But like we said, they haven't done a lot, have they? Like we said, they beat Bournemouth on the last day.
Yeah, they kept up by 2 points. Yeah, that's what he was brought in for. But yeah, I've got a note here. Do they need to have a chat with Dyche about next season? No, but is that what Everton fans want? Do they want to go into next season with Sean Dyche, an uninspiring...
Well, he's come out and said, didn't he? They need to start acting as a big club. They shouldn't be in this state. He said it was a hideous game. You have to find some weird, twisted way to enjoy it as a manager. And he's saying the right things and talking the right way, because you see that funny photo that's going around. Their second pitch invasion in 2 years for winning the league. That is what they've dropped down to. And you got the red side of Merseyside that are getting to Champions League finals, won the league, winning Champions League, winning the FA Cups, doing this and that, winning League Cups, and Everton are celebrating finishing 17th and finishing 2 points above the relegation.
I mean, he's in charge for 18 games, 5 wins, 6 draws, and 7 losses. The one win that really stands out is that one win away at Brighton. 5. That kept him up.
Yeah,
that was it.
I think you said at the time though that result would have shot all those teams below him. Like their confidence would have dropped. So they've been looking at telly, seeing whatever, and thinking, bloody hell, what has gone on there? Why have Brighton become Leeds and Southampton for one night?
Because I know you see all these bloody Opta stat things that go up and down and like percentages of staying up.
Yeah.
And before that, because I could never sit here and picture Everton going down. I just thought there's no way they go. But they were bottom of that list. They were like there's 80% chance of going down. And after winning that game, they went up to like 20%. And that was the one game that because they've lost every other game apart from they just played against Bournemouth. They lost every other game they played. So if Brighton had gone to form and won that game, they'd be in the Championship on 29, whatever it was, 30 points.
Yeah, 70th successive season now for Everton in top flight.
Yeah, no, it is quite good that they are still there. But I would like a big club, another big club in the Championship, because their Championship has turned into a good little, especially with Sheffield Wednesday just getting promoted
today
this afternoon. There's a lot of clubs in there that will be interesting. I do think they need a conversation about Dyche though, because they haven't really improved. Like, are they harder to beat? No. Have they improved defensively? Not particularly. They are getting the odd Dyche home win like they did against Arsenal, Leeds.
Well, eight. They've won 8 games this year. 6 of those at home, and obviously at home, I think, and all 5 of those have been to 0. So they've obviously won 1-0, 2-0, whatever it is, and it's like you said, is that one that they just want to fight relegation and stay in the league, and maybe I don't know, maybe that's what they need to do for a season or 2, and then they try and improve and get better that way. I don't know. It's obviously a lot easier said than done, but
I mean, they're in a far better place than they were with Frank Lampard in charge.
I'd
much rather have Dyche than that idiot.
Yeah, horrific. What a horrific football manager that man is.
But Everton, they need to figure out a way of moving forward next season. They've got a decision to make with Calvert-Lewin. He's just like Patrick Bamford, but where's Nixon Bras?
Yeah, always injured. Obviously a good player, but never doesn't. Exactly. Doesn't. Almost can't commit to a full season of Calvert-Lewin because you know he's going to be injured or whatever's going on.
They probably have the backup, the worst striker in the Premier League, in Neil Maupay.
Yeah, basically a right back playing forward. Yeah.
Where do they get that? They need. Everton used to be that club, and I would put Leicester in that category as well, where it was they're not quite ready for a big club, but that's where you go and that's where you get your time, and then you move on to.
Well, had that spelled like the classic Moyes and Everton era. I know that was probably a bit extreme. They were 4th and 5th, but they always had a group of players that were very hard to beat, and at home was very difficult. And they had some very, very good players, but their squad of late has just been awful, absolutely awful.
Remember Tim Cahill, Fellaini, even had Arteta there, Pienaar, Osman.
When Baines would play, even I know Hibbert was a bit of a joke, but he was like a quite good Premier League fullback, and they had that in Coleman, but. Yeah, he's obviously been part of that, and now he's on the other side. Now he's with all the rubbish they've got. Yeah. And they signed Dele Alli, probably the worst.
He's on the books, isn't he?
Yeah, the worst transfer they could have ever done at the time as well when they were fighting relegation.
Yeah, that's exactly who you need.
Yeah, we need. Well, let's get Dele Alli in. They're like loads of clubs, innit? It's always the same. The recruitment over the summer's got to be huge.
Do you know? I think I've got it set in my head that he's going to go there on loan next season. It's Maguire.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. The only reason I have it I think in a back 3. Can you imagine? Dyche, Pickford. So this is
Dyche in goal.
So Dyche is a manager. You've got Pickford, and you got a back 3 of Tarkowski if they sign Cody and Maguire in the middle. That is what you call like meat and drink.
Yeah,
just
that is, yeah.
And if they had Coleman right wing back,
huge shin pads. Massive rugby studs.
Just head it and kick it.
Yeah. Volleys.
Maguire in a back 3 can be hidden, and then you can put him with them 2 other just slabs. You just want to just head the ball and kick it.
Yeah, that would be quite I would quite enjoy that. That Dyche is definitely trying.
Even if they don't keep Cody as a permanent, they just do a flat 4-4-2 and have Tarkowski and Maguire.
Even Keane or even Mina. Like Mina plays, he's massive.
Now,
oh, is he gone?
Apparently, that was his last game.
Oh my god!
Contract out.
Oh dear.
It might be contract expired. But he's a bit of a head loss, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But he's also just a massive meathead. Just his heading ability is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, I like Dyche for personal reasons, but yeah, I don't know. Do it like you said, Everton. Is that where they're at the minute? That's just their ceiling is right. Let's get to 17th and go again.
Because I thought last season when they stayed up by the skin of their teeth that they would push on. Maybe that was me thinking too much of Frank Lampard, but I've got very little opinion anyway. But they need serious change. Do they? They've got the money now. Now they've got the new stadium. Aren't they getting a winding up order of some sort?
Well, they again when they went on the pitch, they want the board out, don't they? They were chanting for the board to be sacked, and the club like you said, for 12 months has just been awful. It's been toxic, and I think their owners and chairman aren't even allowed to go to the games anymore. So there's obviously a lot more to it than what we see, the 11 players on the pitch and the manager, but.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it here now with the goals scored. They've got 34 goals. Southampton, Leeds, Leicester, Forest, Bournemouth, West Ham. They all scored. The only ones that didn't score more were Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. They've scored like 31 or something. Yeah, stupid. And where did Wolves finish? Like 14th? 13th. 3 points off Chelsea. 13th, he scored 31 goals.
How many did they concede, Wolves? 58.
Bloody hell, it's quite a lot. Like, consider, who knows? Who knows?
A strange one, Everton. Right, have you got anything else to add on your relegation front?
I've
got some notes on. I wanted to say, was it a case of too little, too late? It was in obviously Leeds and Leicester's point of view, but for this might be a lesson to learn for football fans, football managers, pundits, whoever. I mean, I'm very quick to call out other people's managers and say, you should get rid of him, get rid of him. You can see it's lost. But David Moyes, the Forest manager, his name's gone from my head quickly.
Steve Cooper.
Both were under scrutiny to be sacked. Surely Moyes is now at this stage of time. They've both ended up having pretty good seasons. They've both kept up pretty comfortably.
And even Gary O'Neill in that same.
Gary O'Neill, yeah. And they're stuck with the managers. And did, for example, Brendan Rodgers, and he didn't have a great season whatsoever, but did he deserve the chance to try and get him out? Did he have enough change? Built enough credit in the bank?
Credibility.
Yeah,
word.
He had enough credit in the bank, I think, to be given a crack at. It's my team. All right, I've maybe put you in this situation, but let me get you out of it, and then you reassess again in the summer. Obviously, it's easy sitting here in your ivory tower looking down on it, but I do think sacking managers now has become too easy.
Yeah,
and majority of the time it doesn't work.
No, and the big Leeds Big Sam thing, all the clubs have got to look at and just don't do that ever again. Don't. No. Like you said, this maybe the. Would Marsh done any worse? Probably not. They might have got relegated still, but I don't know. He's at least that him as a person, he had energy and he tried to get them going. And all right, they played some horrific football, but he's a bit more inspiring than that Gracia, the guy that Big Sam just come in for the paycheck.
And what annoys me about Big Sam, you can see when they concede the straight away after 2 minutes, he's got the look of like disgust on his face, and it's like. What can I do about that? I know, obviously, when your players cross the line, that is their ultimate responsibility. But the top managers all take responsibility, and if anything goes wrong on the pitch, they're the first ones to take the hit, and if anything goes right, they're the first ones to praise the players.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas I guarantee it's going to be the opposite. If they had kept him up, that would have been the same. Look at me. Look at me.
Yeah. Well, I think he said in his interview that basically the players have not been good enough all year. So. But like you said, he's done now, and he's going to move on, probably go back into retirement and
he's got
carry on with his life.
No. He can't give two tosses, does he?
Not at all.
I guarantee he'll be clearing out his desk today, and by the end of the week, he'll be on a nice hot beach somewhere.
No, yeah, 100%.
What did he get? £250,000 for that?
Yeah, with Sammy Lee next to him, it'd have got him out of jury service. Come on, Sammy, let's go.
Can you imagine if they did stay up? He would have ran to the bank with the best part of £3 million.
And still, like you said, binned them off and gone back into retirement and whatever else. It was just a terrible decision, wasn't it?
Right, you got anything else to add, or should we have a break?
Yeah, let's have a little break,
and then we'll come back for part 2. Right.
We're back, just about.
You listeners won't have realised what just happened over the last 15-20 minutes.
Oh, that was a longer break than it should have been.
We thought we had just lost everything we just recorded.
Yes.
We were contemplating recording it all again.
Oh, it was close. Very close.
We've reset the laptop, done an update. We found an edit in our draft was 13 seconds long, which was just the intro. We thought, that was it. But somehow we found it.
It's still there, so...
Well, we hope it's still there somehow.
Yeah, I think we're good. So we're going to carry on.
Yes. We don't have to repeat the relegation chat.
Yeah, thank God.
So part 2, we'll just run through some of the top teams in the top half of the table. Shall I start? We might as well start with Manchester City. Yeah. Since we last recorded 2 weeks ago, Man City have won the league, gone on the holidays, and now they're getting ready for a FA Cup final next Saturday, and the following Saturday after that, the Champions League final, which will define their season more than the last 38 games have. Whatever happens in the next 2.
The treble is on.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't know. I've got a feeling. I think United might beat them next week.
I think United's the harder game, and if they're not going to win them all, they'll possibly lose that. But
I hope they do it.
I think they're too strong. When all like you said, the Premier League, they've had a mixed bag of players playing and changed some things around. But when they're all there and Pep set them up, I think they're too strong.
Yeah, they won it at a canter at the end, and it's funny because they've gone all season. If they've dropped points in one game, the next game they've won. They've never gone 2 games drop. And as soon as they've won the league, they've gone 2 games and dropped points in both of them, which is normal. That's normally what happens. You can see he's made change. He made another whole host of chances. Cole Palmer's starting games. Rico Lewis is back in the team.
Yeah, he had.
Haaland's not playing, is he? So.
Yeah, I had it for, like you said, 2 weeks ago when they played. Who did they play?
Chelsea.
But I think Chelsea, and they made 9 changes, still beat them, and then maybe from that team, their team was probably quite similar. But again, Palmer was playing. Even I know Foden started. Sounds ridiculous saying that he's a change, but he's not. He's not a starting player anymore in their best team. Yeah, Alvarez, the World Cup winning striker, starts. So
Phillips even started again on Sunday. Yeah,
so when they're, like I said, the FA Cup final, Champions League final, they'll have their best side, and they'll be firing.
But it's interesting because I still think they would have, if they needed to, they would have won them 2 games. But them 2 games on paper, away at Brighton and away at Brentford, are potential banana skins.
Yeah.
If it was part of a bigger title race, or maybe they were played in December, whenever, just...
Yeah. It's the timing though, isn't it? I know you can only play what your fixture list is, but like you said, Brighton away is a tough game, Brentford away is a tough game, and at this time, savoury, like you said, they had to win those games, but Brighton were done with their season. They'd achieved what they needed to. Brentford weren't going anywhere, so they would have gone into the games. Yes, they were tough, but still in a similar mind. But if they were playing them January, December, or start of the season or something, when it meant more for those smaller clubs, then it would have been very different, or could have been very different.
Yeah, they topped the league on 89 points, scoring 94 goals, 36 of them from one man.
Yes, the robot.
Soon to win the player of the season. It's got to be announced shortly, whenever that happens. He's been absolutely outstanding.
His goal scoring's been ridiculous, hasn't it?
Considered 33 goals with a plus goal difference of 61 points. Weirdly enough, actually, they were one of the teams that finished with 4 less points than they did last season.
Really?
That's because they've dropped 5 points in their last 2 games.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, they're not fast.
And moving on from down below City was Arsenal, who matched them stride for stride for 30 plus 31 games, something like that. Came unstuck since they played Liverpool, and the wheels sort of fell off their season there. But 88 goals Arsenal scored this season. That's the most they've ever scored in a Premier League season ever.
I know. Well, even obviously, but even more than
Yeah.
When obviously you went unbeaten.
I mean, it helped this season where we had the goals came from everywhere. We didn't have one prolific scorer. Martinelli got 15. Odegaard got 15. Saka got 14. Jesus got 11. I think he missed half the season anyway with a.
I noticed that, because you look at when the top scorer comes up on TV all the time, and I think top 5, top 6 players they show, and obviously, not a single Arsenal, like you said, still scoring 80 odd goals.
Yeah, 88 goals is the most we've scored. Yeah. We only scored 6 less than City, which is mad.
Because then they got Haaland, and they seem to batter teams all the time. But then you've obviously been good this year, and you're home. It seems like home you seem to batter everyone, and another 5 goals. Was it 5?
Yeah,
5 goals at the weekend. So
because City drew 1 less game than us and lost 1 less game than us, and that was the title at the end of the day came down to the 2 head-to-heads.
Yeah, it's when you played them.
They're 6-point games each time. If we lose, they win, and they gain 3. We don't get 3, and they battered us at the end. That was where if Arsenal win one of them games, Arsenal win the league because the points switch round. But it is what it is.
City's 3rd league in a row, 7 league titles in 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, no, I can't see that breaking anytime soon.
No,
if we had to do our predictions right now for next season, we'd both have City top.
Yeah, until Pep moves on, I don't see it changing. Because even if the players they always this summer they'll go and buy whoever they want, whoever they need, and they'll get rid of someone and go, oh my god, why you get rid of him? Well, because that's what they do. And until Pep leaves, I can't see much changing really.
Yeah, I can see them going getting another top draw midfielder to replace Gundogan. Do they move on a winger? I don't know, like a Mahrez or someone like that, just to go get another good player in. That, what do they do? Do they go for another centre half? Do they need another one? They need a left back, I think, of some. Yeah, an actual
left back. Yeah, they do it, don't they? That's why that's what so many clubs want. But yes, City have all the money in the world, but they still do it correctly. Like Leeds, they spent nearly 200 million this year. They're getting relegated. I know it's Leeds and they're spending 200 million, but it's exactly that. It's Man City, like I said, have billions and all the money, but they're still doing the right things and getting in the right players. They've got an incredible manager. So, because I hate that argument of that we're becoming a farmers' league and all this, like, oh, City winning the league again, it's boring, blah blah. But like, where have I got it here? 1 second, sorry. Where did I put it? Because what happened here? Wait. Where have I put it? Sorry,
they've won. They won the last 3 leagues in a row.
City, so they've won. Yeah, 3 leagues in a row. 7. Their 7th league title. 5 in the last 6. But Man United won 8 titles in 11 years. When United won 4 titles in 5 years, there was none. There wasn't this argument of they're dominating football. And in that 11-year period, only 3 different sides, including United, won, and Arsenal one of them. I think Blackburn won it whenever they did. But yeah, that argument, it was all right when United were doing it. It was fine, and they were spending ridiculous money in that period, the early 2000s, late 90s. So I don't really get that argument, and it seems like this year it's suddenly become a thing, and through pundits and TalkSport and whatever you listen to and watch. Yeah, I just think they've got an incredible manager. Yes, again, they have loads of money, but they're an incredible manager. They're buying the right players. They're doing the right things, and they're just dominating the domestic football.
I think where it comes from is the fact that you now need to be perfect, basically. Like, I know, like we said, the league table didn't lie. City only got 89 points this year, but because they dropped 5 points the last 2 games after they won the league. If they were to get that, they would have got 94 points. To win a league, to get 95 points, you have to get that like a minimum. Is like ridiculous. That's what Liverpool have struggled with since they've been competing. And they got 98 points and 97 points and didn't win the league in either of them years, which is...
Yeah, when Liverpool won it in 2019-20, they had 99, but City had 81. So I understand, do get the argument, but it's also, I don't know, like last season, Liverpool finished 1 point behind City, 1 point, but they played every game, they reached every final, but they were 1 point behind City. So I don't know.
Well, they get 97 points last year, didn't they? Something like that.
Yeah, and then, they didn't win the league, but they
it's
also
horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, but it is horrible. But they reached every final. They were brilliant, and so, yeah, I don't know. City just they are very very good.
Yeah, they fell off a cliff this year, Liverpool. They finished 25 points worse off.
Really? Bloody hell.
Yeah, they got 67 points this year, and they obviously got 97 last year. Yeah.
They had a little charge, didn't they? They were a very, very dark horse for top four.
So, two teams have finished the top four. Who's more of a surprise? Man United in third or Newcastle in fourth? At the beginning of the season, we both wrote off United.
Yeah, I'll probably equally both. Because, like I said, all the way, but yes, Newcastle have that money, but they haven't gone out and spent it on brilliant players. And like, oh my God, they've got Neymar and back. Like, no, they've...
Jacob Murphy still plays.
Yeah, Jacob Murphy still plays. Even Joe Willock. Dan Burns still plays centre. He's a very good player. But yeah, Almiron still plays. Joe Linton, the man that people wanted to send home, is still playing for them. So yeah, and yes, they have that money. They have that support, but they haven't gone out and brought in some good players. Bruno's a very good player, but yeah, I'd say quite equal really. Maybe United with obviously Ten Hag coming in and, like we all said, and at the very start of the season when they got some terrible results. But yeah, I just think below the top two, it was all to play for really. No side really grabbed it and went for it. Even those two sides, Newcastle and United, for example, Tottenham, if we on our day, I feel like we can still compete with them. But yeah, obviously it proved wrong throughout the season.
Yeah, I don't think it's really been until the last 4 or 5 games. This is Liverpool. Liverpool won 9 on the trot, did they? Something like that to put a good push to the top 4, shall I say? Like you said, the late run they had, but it was pretty comfortably United and Newcastle in and around. They were always in them spots. I think Spurs flirted for it a little bit until they got rid of Conte, and then that just the whole season fell off a cliff after that 3-3. Yeah, that was the international break, wasn't it? Like, since then,
yeah, I think it was, and then it's obviously interview, and yeah. Not worth. But
then I think it was a bit like, do you remember when Arsenal were, I think, like maybe 8 clear, but they City had a couple of games in hand, and it was always Spurs were 4th, but they played.
We shouldn't. I said that as well.
They played 4 games more, and it was always going to.
It was a false position. Like we finished where we deserved to be, but it was like we're still 4th. But yeah, the game we had played more. We had obviously a few more points, but yeah, once it all leveled itself out, like I said about City, once they leveled the same games as Arsenal, they're always going to be above them, and Tottenham's a prime example of that.
Because you soon went from 4th to 8th, and levelled out. Like when Brighton played all their games, finally Villa caught up and whatnot.
But Liverpool they're still. You saw this season there was in moments. Don't forget they smashed United 7-0, and on United they lost 7-0 to Liverpool. Got absolutely destroyed by Man City. Like they're all hailing Eric Ten Hag as like the new Messiah, and he's the new god. And he come out on the pitch at the weekend. They finished 3rd, and he's grabbing the mic and doing like a motivational speech for the cup final. All this, like, you got battered by your closest rival 7-0. So yeah, just calm down. But you Essex Reds jumping out your seats and you're driving whilst you're listening to this, just chill out a sec. But yeah, on Liverpool, they in moments they have been that good. They beat United 7-0. They had a very good game against Arsenal. They as they do beat Tottenham at home. But yeah, they just weren't that same consistency what they've been throughout for the last sort of 3-4 seasons, or even longer it seems.
What do they need in the summer? New midfield completely.
Yeah, they probably need like we always say, but yeah, probably need to move on a couple players.
Do they stick or twist with Darwin Núñez?
I think they'll definitely keep him. Yeah, and persist with him. I think.
Does he start in their best? France. I can't. Is he injured? I can't remember the last time he scored.
I don't know.
It seems to be Gakpo playing all the time now.
Yeah, but I think this year is one of those classic like cliche like transitional periods there. Like they just brought in. Obviously Diaz came in January, didn't he? When of last season he was good and he was a new and exciting player, but this season, his first real season, he sort of struggled with injuries and whatnot. Well, like we're saying about the midfielders, aging and old, and it's hard for them to play week in, week out. at the level that they need to be. Gakpo's come in, and a new signing needs probably a year or two. So yeah, they probably need probably a couple new additions, ones that actually work and aren't injured like Artur, and actually play football. It seems like I think they're pretty sure they've missed out on Bellingham. He looks it looks like he's gone to Real Madrid. So yeah, I'm sure they stick with Klopp, and they'll be. I think they'll be back up towards the top end next season.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. Get a couple of smart signings, and you think they're surely, like I said, them players just mentioned will improve. If they're going to start this new Trent hybrid role, maybe that's a new formation they're looking at. Maybe it works for them. Moving on to Brighton and Villa, who have probably been the two surprise packages of the season. Have been absolutely fantastic. Brighton 6th, 62 points, with Villa 7th on 61 points. What a season, both of them.
Yeah, I think for me, more impressive from Villa, I'd say, in that I think Emery came in and they were 17th or something.
Point off relegation, I think.
Yeah, with horrible Steven Gerrard. And I think they're maybe since Emery's come in, they're the second or third highest points tally, and got them obviously to where they are in the table and finished in was it 7th Conference League?
Yeah.
So, and like you said recently, but Emery Conference League is like 7th in the table.
Money.
Yeah, it's just it is perfect Emery, and it is prime Emery, and they've built a weird little European side, and they are really dangerous.
Come on, Sky Bet, give him my odds.
I bet they'll be really short. They'll probably be favourites or one.
Yeah, but my point was, if West Ham, and this is taking nothing away from West Ham, if West Ham can get to the Conference League final, then Aston Villa definitely can.
Yeah,
I think West
with
Ham,
David Moyes, who had no experience, no success in Europe.
Yeah, you think your best striker is Antonio still?
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, he's done really well, and fair play, they deserve to be in the final. But Villa surely have got more quality. They've got. I know he's been horrific this season. They've got like Philippe Coutinho in their squad somewhere.
Well, they've got a World Cup winner in goal, so
yeah, exactly.
But so
West Ham.
Yeah,
so in Areola.
No, but I do agree.
No,
Emery with Villa they're a perfect counter attacking side in Europe, away from home. Yeah, but obviously Brighton have been brilliant, but I don't know they have been brilliant, and the Zerbi's coming in and he somehow made them better, but they still got beat 5-1 at home to Everton. They still had some shocking results, but
this last run of games, they've had 2 wins in their last 5. They got battered by, like I said, Everton. They got battered by Newcastle. Drew with City, although much changed City. Lost to Villa. Beat Arsenal.
And I think that sums up. In their moments, they are brilliant, and they play some brilliant football, and they're obviously very hard to play against, but I think they're inconsistent, and I don't know, a bit up and down, aren't they? A bit up and down.
Interesting season, interesting summer for them, shall I say? It looks like McAllister's on his way.
I saw he was getting all emotional, wasn't he? There,
Casado surely will probably leave as well.
I'm pretty sure he's come to Serb. He's come out and said McAllister and Moses as he called him, whatever. Said pretty sure that's their last game.
But they'll walk away with best part of £200 million probably for them. I'd say at least they're going to get at least 70 odd for each, aren't they?
You'd think so. So maybe a bit less for McAllister, but is McAllister that good? I don't know. I mean, he's a good player. I think he's a pretty solid player, but
I'm sort of sometimes confused if he's a 10 or is he like an 8.
Yeah, or is he? He
would have played against Arsenal. He played a bit deeper and was very, very good. But he looks aesthetically as a 10, doesn't he? How he's built. You can't really see him running around making
breaking
tackles.
Up,
but then I haven't watched him enough to, like you said, profile his exact.
I don't. I'm saying like that, but I barely watch Brighton and him. But
is he playing Klopp's midfield 3 with? Well, he needs the whole new 3, because I think Fabinho looks like he looks like the most oldest 30-year-old I've seen. It's nice.
And maybe Caicedo, that'd be a Liverpool sort of big statement, wouldn't it? Because he's been linked with Arsenal heavily. I'm sure City are probably sniffing around it, but that might be Liverpool sitting in sort of the back behind the front runners, and that could be their statement signing. But
that'd be interesting, and then see who they reinvest. They probably sign some 15-year-old from Ecuador, and then sell him next season.
It'd be a world beater.
Like that Enciso is from Colombia, is he? I don't know. He's just
think so. Yeah, something.
Paraguay. I think that's the one.
Yeah, he's Paraguay.
Banging in goals.
But they still gonna have Welbeck up front. So.
Well, I'd say he will be a player. Will be that Ferguson. I think he looks top draw. I think he looks really good. He said he's scored the most goals this season of any teenager. 6, I think.
Yeah, not many. But it's a good player.
He looks very good.
Mm.
Moving on to 8th, your club. How would you rank your from A to U? Like A star.
The grade.
Yeah, what would you grade Tottenham Hotspur's season?
Ooh.
Bear in mind, this time last year, the expectations going in.
I'll definitely get onto that, but probably a E. Like if you remember, you get your GCSEs or A levels and you get an E. Yeah, you're not happy. That's a bad.
No, I've been wanting to ask you this all week.
Yeah, no, it's well, like you said from last year. And I think I spoke about to my family today, but Norwich away, top of the world. We were flying, got into top 4. It was one of the best days I've ever had in the sun. Beautiful day in Norwich. And then to now, we're 8th. We've gone through. We had Conte and all his backroom staff. And to now, we have Ryan Mason and his mates FC, and it's just a mess. And it's so much deeper with Tottenham. I said it the other day, but like years ago when we had Poch, and it was fantastic. We had obviously a very good team. He had all his staff in there, but it was deeper than that. It was the director of football, the head of recruitment, and all these positions. Couldn't even tell you, but they were all settled, and we had a good sort of staff and team behind the scenes sort of thing that no one even knew about, but it all worked. And now I don't know who these people are. I don't know what's going on. Levy's in the last 2-3 years has created an absolute horrible monster of a club. Yeah, I just don't know. It's just gone. And no, yeah, you would have said right going into the season, Conte in charge, just got top 4. He's had all summer to work things out. We bought all these players at the start of the season. I was like, yeah, quality, absolutely brilliant. We bought these fantastic players, and yeah, it's just not worked out one bit. It's just not. It's not gone to plan at all.
If I had said to you on game week 1 that the strike partnership of Harry Kane and Richarlison would have scored 31 Premier League goals between them at the start of the season, would you have taken it?
Yeah, I'd have been quite happy with that. But I realised, Kane scored 30 of those goals and Richarlison has offered nothing. But
I think that's, like you said, that's where he was never fit for Spurs, and he's not a tricky winger. No. He's like
he's an awful, obnoxious striker that just wants to fight everyone and bully players. But yeah, it's just more than Richarlison, though, isn't it? It's just, and we're unfortunate with Bentancur getting injured. Basuma, he wasn't playing great, but
he wasn't playing, was he? That was the issue.
Yeah, he wasn't playing. Yeah, to be fair, at the start he wasn't playing. Then he got injured, so he couldn't play.
Jed Spencer's out on loan. That was another signing you made.
Yeah, and then decided to play that. Had to play that awful tree in goal. So yeah, the things were about Conte, and he's had a terrible year of personal things. With family and friends and coaching staff that were his close friends that have passed away, and you can't write those things. And Conte's illness of all that going on, and that definitely had a part to play with his mindset and his attitude towards Tottenham. And I didn't agree with how we were playing and what Conte was trying to do, whatever, but all these other things that you just can't account for when you enter a season. And Daniel Levy can't account for that, and there'll be people screaming and shouting, saying Levy out and all the rest of it, but he didn't expect that. He didn't expect... I mean, yes, I do believe you should do your homework a bit more about your Paratici and all the... Surely he knew about all the things that were on top of their heads, but you can't account for those sort of things to happen. And yeah, I think, I don't know. Like I said, you just can't account for those things, and it's just turned into a horrible mess. And yeah, it's a bad place to be at the minute.
The only shining light is Harry Kane is it equaling his best ever title?
I think
of 30
so.
Goals?
I've got a few bits on him. Let me grab my phone.
But 30 Premier League goals in a team that's 8th is a remarkable
ridiculous
achievement. He actually reminds me this season of I don't know if you can remember, Arsenal were 2010-11, I think, when we had Van Persie. And Van Persie got 30 league goals in a team. We just about finished fourth because the league wasn't as strong as it is now. And he then went to United he had 1 year left and went to United. That's sort of the parallel I can see here, where he's just carried this whole team. And without his goals, he got some record, hasn't he, that he scored in the most games in a season.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at it now. So Harry Kane scored in 26 different Premier League matches in this season, the most ever in a single season. Harry Kane is the first player ever to score 30 plus goals in 2 separate 38 Premier League seasons. And that's the 2 sort of main things that have come out from him. But yeah, I said earlier today at work, but imagine if he'd have scored just a sort of average season for him and scored 15 to 20 goals. Like, we'd be 14th. We'd be maybe lower. Like, we'd be awful. And yeah, it's ridiculous. 30 goals in a season in a side that we're not really used to, because we've been awful in recent times. But yeah, he scored 30 goals in a side that have been, nobody wants to watch us. Everyone, like, our fans don't support the side anymore. It's pretty incredible.
30 goals out of the 70 that you scored this season. As a team, 70 goals. And he got 30 of them.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It's a fair old whacking.
And then you look at that, though, the goal difference, like, I think we conceded like 60 odd, didn't we?
63.
Yeah, 63. So I think that's where our problem is massively.
Yeah, it was like last week. Obviously, we didn't speak about it because we didn't have a pod last week, but you started against Brentford at home. Fraser Foster in goal, left back
Davis,
and then a centre half of Longley and
Sanchez,
and a right back of Royale, wasn't it?
Might have been Royale, yeah. I think it's Royale, to be fair.
That's just an awful back four.
No, it is, yeah.
Or back five with the goalkeeper, with Skip in the middle. Just.
Skip.
But that's where you can see where you need to change. But it's again, how can Conte be sacked? And it's going to be June next week, and there's no manager.
No,
not even any rumours of any manager.
And that is another issue one of the biggest issues that, like we talk about Chelsea. I think that Todd Bowley, all the contracts and all the money they spent is horrific, but they've got Pochettino coming in. They know that's happening. It's signed. It's done. It's happening. We're June now, basically. We've not had a manager for how long? We've got Ryan Mason in charge, and there's still nothing happening. And I don't believe all that rubbish in the media of these managers, Arne Slot, and that is such crap. That is such rubbish from Sky Sports and whoever writes the reports. It's utter garbage. But yeah, I don't believe it until it's on the telly at Spurs' training ground and with a sign in the paper. It's not real. So. Yeah, and all those, and that's the worst thing it winds me up, is the fans that jump on the bandwagon like Arne Slot. Like, no one knew who Arne Slot was 2 weeks ago. Nobody knew of this man. Nobody has ever heard of him. And then suddenly Arne Slot's the answer, and he was in Levy's bedroom signing the paper, but it didn't happen because Levy's got a bald head. Like, it's just utter rubbish. They're just idiots, all of you. It winds me up so much.
Arne Slot, yeah. Who would have thought?
Who's Arne Slot?
Who would have thought 6 weeks ago Arne Slot would be a manager? That would be the answer, yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. And it's same with Nagelsmann. It's the same, and he might even, who knows, he might come and be our manager. Who knows what's going to happen?
According to Richard Keys, what does Nagelsmann do?
Exactly, yeah. But he's another one. It's like Levy won't pay out for Nagelsmann. The same as won't pay 15 million for what Barry from Bishop Stortford. You know that, do you? Levy had that. He had a text with him saying, if you pay us 10 million, you can have him. Like, please, get over yourself. What a load of rubbish.
I also think Spurs need to go away from having to, how do I word this? Not beg, but I think they sort of begged Conte and Mourinho to be the managers, basically. And I think you need a manager who actually thinks, no, I want to be the manager of Spurs. I want to do this because I want to come to Spurs and make you better and make myself better, rather than please come help me. Like, that was the plea that he gave to Mourinho, and the plea that they gave to Conte, going back there twice.
But then that's what happens. But then that's all about the media and all the stories that come up. So already, Nagelsmann said no, Slot said no. apparently we want this Ange Postecoglou from Celtic. He will probably say no. Like, and then it happened in the summer before we went through Gattuso and all. Like,
Gattuso, oh my god!
Like,
I remember.
But what? I don't believe that. I don't believe any of that. It's not real. It's not. That didn't happen. It didn't happen. And then we went back to Conte.
I remember Gattuso.
But it's just that's what I'm talking about. The media, it's just rubbish, utter rubbish.
Yeah, surely Gattuso, that was never even like.
It just wasn't a thing. It just wasn't a thing. Someone's gone and it will happen this summer. The chat of suddenly, Kane scored 30 goals for Tottenham. We finished 8th, and now it's like, right, where does Kane need to go? Who's going to buy Kane? And now our manager, we went through it. Oh, now Brendan Rodgers. Oh, Graham Potter. A bit like, it's just rubbish, utter rubbish. So.
Does
shove
Kane
it.
play for Tottenham next season?
Kane.
Yeah. I think he has to.
I think so. Unless, because Levy is the reason he's there this season. He should have gone last season when Man City was supposedly interested and offered all that money. But the only reason, well, not the only reason, but a main reason is is Levy. So, but then he needs to sign a contract. He has to sign a new contract this summer. Otherwise, he goes next year for free for nothing and. He goes to wherever he wants.
See, even Kane's situation is so tied up with the new manager. Because do you take that job knowing that Kane's leaving, or do you take the job knowing that you need assurances of what's happening and with your captain and your best player? And
I'm sure managers coming would love. Obviously, you'd love Kane to be there, but he's not gonna. I don't know. He's not going to be there in 3 seasons, 4 seasons, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd hope for a manager who have a bit more foresight than just looking at what's happening now. Have we got Kane? Have we got?
I think that's what Spurs need to do.
Yeah,
I'm not saying write off next season already, but you need to look. Arsenal did it when they finished 8th. 8th is horrific. We finished 8th back to back, and it's. If you actually deep how bad it is bad. Like, when was the last time you finished 8th? It isn't the first season with no European football for 15 years for Spurs.
Something like that. But then we are usually rubbish. Like
no, but it's in the last 15 years you've been a good
doing
team.
Right,
8th, I remember when I used to look back at 8th and you think how have Brighton and Villa finished above surely we should finish above them. We've got a guy who scored 30 goals and it's frustrating for Spurs fans. Yeah, looking back on.
No, we need similar to what you said, but we need a manager to come in and actually want to be there and actually want to manage the club and achieve something with us. Brendan Rodgers, nope. See you later.
I think it'll be Brendan.
It's got like I said it on the socials the other day. It's got Brendan written all over it,
and I think it will happen. He will start off really well. Like I said on the text the other day, it will start off really well. You'll win a few games, pick up some points. Obviously, you won't be in any European football, so you'll probably focus on the League Cup. You might get a little run there. You might sign like Tielemans or Harvey Barnes or Ndidi, something like that on the cheap. And then it will all end in tears because Brendan Rodgers has got a limit to his managerial abilities. Like you've seen throughout his career, he can get to a mark and then it all just falls apart. And if you sign players from Leicester, I'd say maybe not James Maddison, but the rest of them, there's not much there.
No, well, they're relegated side, aren't they? So, no, I just hope it's not Rodgers. I just hope it's not Rodgers.
Rodgers or Mason?
No, Rodgers. It has to be Rodgers. We cannot go into next season with Ryan Mason as the manager still. It can't.
Do you think there's any way he gets it?
No, Levy can't. That'll be suicide. He can't. He just can't. No, Mason shouldn't even accept it as well. He should know. He should know better.
Right. Shall we touch on finally? I do want to have one final word on Chelsea.
Go on, we'll make it short and sweet.
12th, 38 games, 11 wins, 11 draws, 16 losses, 38 goals, 47 conceded, a -9 goal difference, 44 points. Palace above them.
Yeah.
Pochettino announced today he's got a big job on his hands.
Yeah, that is.
What?
He's...
Where did it start going wrong? It's obviously gone wrong, but where? Where was the first point? Sacking Tuchel. That's got to be where it just went just horrifically.
Oh, when they got rid of Tuchel at the start, I think that this year, like Tuchel and Conte were basically having a row at Stamford Bridge, and now look,
It's on game week 2 that was. Remember that?
Yeah, and I thought, Chelsea looked good that day, didn't they? But it's just an absolute mess. It's just absolute mess at the minute at Stamford Bridge. And we're going about Spurs and what's going on there. But there's a whole list of sides that are worse off than us, and one of them being Chelsea. And Poch, I think he's a brilliant manager, and I've cut all ties with him now. I've unfollowed him on Instagram, and I'm sure he's seen that. But
taking the poster off the wall.
Yeah. I'm booked in to erase my tattoo. I've got him on my back, so well, no longer any attachment to the man. But he's a brilliant manager. But even that job, that must be quite daunting going into that club.
Yeah, there's a big. It's funny because it's actually basically like a FIFA job, isn't it? You go in there, and you just literally go sell. We've got so many players there. I don't know what they're going to do. And there's even rumours today, like I said, it's all paper talk and that, but there's rumours they're spending £60 million on some. But how?
And how? And also they've already got 2 or 3 new players that are coming in the summer that have been bought in January. It's just, and then that.
And Nkunku, in it.
Yeah, Nkunku, and there's 2 others, I think. But how can you be, like I said before, when they were in January and spend all this money? Everyone's like, he's Todd Bowley's such a clever man. He's found a loophole in the system. Like, no, it's one of the worst things that's happened, that could happen, and the punishments or whatever happens in the coming months. Surely there must be some sort of
replication.
There must be some sort of punishment coming towards them. But it's shocking. And he's come out and said, I think I need to take a step back. You just spent over £500 million of your money on this club, and now you're saying, actually, I don't fancy. I'm going to take a step back. So, it's a.
Well, they got Lampard in. That was just wow. He had 9 games, picked up 5 points, which was a win at Bournemouth. Everyone gets their win at Bournemouth. A draw at home to Forest and a draw at home the last day to Newcastle.
Lost and still didn't score that game, did they?
No.
Own goal.
They've just been
rubbish.
I actually don't think they've been given a hard enough time in the press.
I might sound broken record, but yes, how are Chelsea not getting slaughtered for what's going on? They're just being brushed under the carpet. Again, all you hear about is Kane, and is he going to stay? And
it's because Frank must have
he's got
mates in the middle. You can't have Jamie Redknapp, who's his cousin, just slagging him off. He's been awful.
So true.
Harry Redknapp's his uncle. He's a big family man, isn't he, old Frank?
How are Chelsea getting away with it?
How's he getting away with it as well? Like if his name was, I don't know, but if he was
Javi Garcia,
Javi Garcia got
Ruben
killed
Sellers,
for losing a couple of games.
Jesse Marsh getting slaughtered now, and he's not even probably in the country anymore. That's so true. It winds me up.
Although Marsh, there was a clip that was doing the rounds today when they lost 4-0.
I've seen that.
4-0 to City, and he's like
brilliant.
Fist pumping up.
Yeah. I thought, can you notice the scores in the bottom? I'm like, that must be another game. Like, they must have won. When was this? And Marsh is like, fist pumping the crowd. They got battered by City. It's 4-0. It's so good. It's like when the FIFA glitches and like your manager's celebrating. No, brilliant.
Terrible. Shall we end on winner and loser?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's run through. Do you want to start?
Yeah, my winner was actually chosen today, a few hours ago. I don't know if you've gone a similar way, but I've gone for Sheffield Wednesday. They've got a 123rd minute winner at Wembley to get promoted back into the Championship. Josh Windass with the goal, 15 years and 5 days after his dad, Dean Windass, scored for Hull to get them promoted to the Prem. Brilliant day out on Bank Holiday Monday for the Wednesday fans. 123rd minute winner. Looked like it was destined for penalties, and Josh Windass pops up with a goal. So
perfect.
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday.
My winner of the week is exactly the same.
Yeah,
and I actually had them drafted in for last week's episode. Obviously, after their heroic.
Yeah, true. Even to get to the playoff final, ridiculous.
Because funny enough, I've put 2 weeks ago. I had them close to being losers of the week after finishing third, 96 points, and I watched the game versus Peterborough with my granddad, and Peterborough battered them 4-0. And then we were watching. I had it on my phone just in case they scored or whatever, just to keep interest in it.
Yeah.
1-0, 7 minutes, and then it was 2-0 after like 25, and then as the Newcastle versus Brighton game finished, blew full time, and it went 3-0 with like 15 minutes ago. So like, we have to watch that. Put it on.
Yeah, I did.
98th minute equaliser, then it went 4-1, and then 5-1, and then I'm glad they went up because if you get 96 points, you need to go up.
They were more than good enough to get in, and yes, they're the third best team, but yeah, they had a brilliant season, didn't they? So yeah,
well done,
good choice.
Sheffield Wednesday. And my loser of the week is utterly pathetic Leeds United and Big Sam Allardyce. I just said whatever has happened there is just a mess. The bloke doesn't care. I guarantee yesterday he took off his Leeds United tie and that will never go back on his neck ever again. No. He won't even think about it. He'll think, how have I just swindled this club of like nearly £500,000? I'm going to go to the Bahamas and chill out and drink some more beer.
Yeah.
And go chat with my mates, Andy Gray and and Richard Keys.
Yeah, Sammy Lee.
And hope to try and get a job in 12 months' time with another
Same again.
Try and get my Everton job back or something like that. I don't know.
I like it.
Shambles of a decision.
Yeah. My loser of the week, I've gone for Hamburg/Hamburg fans.
Yes.
They won their game 1-0 at the weekend. They're in the second division of the Bundesliga. And they won. They were winning 1-0 and they won 1-0. So they thought they had achieved automatic promotion into the Bundesliga. So the fans stormed the pitch and celebrated with the players, and they were going absolutely mental as you would. But I'm going to pronounce it as Heidenheim, who were losing 2-1 at the time. So obviously late on in the game, that's why Hamburg thought they'd done it. And then so that Heidenheim had equalised in the 93rd to make it 2-2, and then got the winner in the 99th minute. 10 minutes of stoppage time, and they therefore finished top. Hamburg then dropped to third and enter a playoff to see if they can go up against Stuttgart, who finished near the bottom in the top division. So Hamburg were going mental, celebrating, thought they'd gone up automatic, to only find out they'd reached the playoff. So obviously, yes, they can still go up, but yeah, that moment storming the pitch for no reason. Yeah. So loser of the week, Hamburg fans and Hamburg.
Very close loser of the week was also another German club.
Oh, yeah.
Dortmund, oh my God.
That was a big old bottle if there ever was one.
They have fumbled that bag beyond...
Terrible.
Wow. You watch read up on the story if you haven't seen what happened, but oh my God, they...
Yeah, shocking.
The first league title in 11 years it could have been.
At home as well, against perfect, like we said about this sort of time of year, playing a side that have nothing to play for. Whoever I think it was Mainz or whoever they were playing.
Mainz, yeah.
They were mid-table, couldn't go up, couldn't move down, whatever they were doing. At home, like you said, first title in God knows how long, and absolutely fumbled the bag.
Right, let's go back to the beginning of the teaser. It's been so long ago.
Oh yeah,
it's been a short show, but my God, we've been here a while.
That pause in the middle,
trying to get part 1 back, and I hope part 2's worked. We'll find out shortly. Luton Town got promoted on Saturday and became the 4th town to play in the Premier League. Can you name the other 3?
Huddersfield?
Yep.
Ipswich?
Yep.
Oh, Huddersfield, Ipswich. This is where I'm struggling. Oh, it's annoying. He's giving nothing away. Town.
I'll give you a clue if you want.
Let me have a moment. Mine's not having it.
I think like right back to the beginning of the Premier League history. It's an old club.
There's a few athletics. Oh, that's what I was thinking straight away. Like early time.
It's very early. Might even be the first season.
I can't think of towns. Oh. No. No, I'm blank.
Swindon.
Oh, Swindon. No, yeah, I was nowhere near them.
Swindon Town were the fourth.
Nowhere.
Well, I think they were the first.
Yeah, they probably were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew when you first told me at the start, I had Huddersfield and Ipswich straight away, but Swindon, yeah, I was never getting that. Yeah, little old Luton back.
Yeah.
Or I think they used to be in the top division 91 or 90, something like that. Yeah, Luton Town.
My memory of Luton is always the Xavi Alonso Liverpool game.
It was in the cup, or
the FA Cup when on BBC when there wasn't many games. We didn't have Sky at the time. I just remember the goal.
Yeah,
5-3. I think that game was just a ridiculous game of football.
Yeah,
but no, congratulations, Luton.
Yeah,
and I'm sure we'll be discussing them lots next season on the pod. They're surely
they got to be 20th.
You'd think so. Who got people got promoted? Oh yeah, they got 100+, didn't they?
Sheffield United and Burnley.
Yeah, you'd think so. You definitely know on Friday night, the first game is at Kenilworth Road, and it's going to be
Arsenal.
It's normally Arsenal. Normally Arsenal play the first game of the season. Yeah. I don't know why it is.
Carragher on the sideline.
Yeah, they'll be dance. You can see him dance already, can't you?
For the Hatters.
But we shall see. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Regular Monday again. Hoping to do a bit of a European preview of the three finals. Well, the Europa League finals on Wednesday, isn't it? So we'll be maybe a bit of a Champions League, bit of a review on the FA Cup final, and a pre-West Ham. Pre-West Ham review, preview. So that could be an interesting pod the week after.
Yeah, who's the guy who stood on the stairs? Maybe get him in.
The Angel of Alkmaar.
Yeah. Well, what's his name?
Nosy,
that's it. Yeah, get Nosy on the sofa. The hero.
Nosy's swinging. But no, congratulations to West Ham. That's all. It's the what's the saying? It's the pinnacle of the season now, is it? I don't know.
I just hope.
It's where legends are made.
Yeah. No, Declan Rice, I want you in tears on the halfway line.
His last game for West Ham. Is he going to lift that trophy?
And not tears of joy.
We shall see. Right. Thank you all for listening. I hope this has worked. I really hope this worked.
Yes, we are.
I'm actually a bit nervous about press stopping now and having to edit this back a little bit, but
that would be fine.
We shall see.
We'll be good.
So cheers I hope you've enjoyed listening after 2-week break.
Yep.
I hope my voice has been better, and the season's over, but the podcast continues.
Stay loyal.
Stay loyal.